I understand a lot of you, or most of you, will not have the time to view our entire website. But I do hope and pray that you'll take a look at the website as often as you can. We have incredible photos that give a complete historical rundown of our national tour. Hundreds and thousands of photos that just do not lie. They show commitment, they show dedication, they show sacrifice. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of hours out on the road, away from family, away from friends, all for a great, great cause. The victims of September 11th and their souls. That's what this was all about, and is all about. The quilt that isn't, is. Take a look at our website. We give a point-by-point response to the article with some narratives from me, supporting documentation, evidence, contradicting the article at times, but many, many photos that photos just do not lie. They show an accurate timeline. They show accurate commitment, accurate dedication, and it took many, many years to gather all these photos. The national tour was not easy. It was very difficult. Most people are not aware of what a national tour entails. It's living out of a suitcase, living as inexpensively as you can for the good and the glory of the cause, having police departments that you're visiting know where you're staying because you're out, and they say, "Are you staying in this motel?" "Yeah." "Dude, you should have told the chief. This is not a good neighborhood. He would have gotten you a better hotel, better motel." Oh, so many times that happened. Got to give a shout out to McDonald's and the value meal, or the 99-cent value meal. It was tough. It was tough, but that's what you do. That's what you do. Got receipts? We got the receipts. Got the receipts to show where the money went, folks. Absolutely have the receipts. $200 a week on auto allowance. Yeah, that was a resolution the board passed, but not even close. Do you know $200 a week for the national tour would have been about $60,000, according to the article that was paid to me? I think I was paid like $7,000 out of the whole 6, 7 year, 8 year national tour. And I used my own vehicle, pulling a trailer, all over the country, folks. All over the country. It broke down. Got proof. It broke down. I trashed my Suburban. It was beat up. But tried to save money. Renting a vehicle was like $200-300 a month, or a week. I think it was in Arizona. It was like $256 a week for the cheapest economy car, without tax, I believe. It was like almost $300 a week. So yeah, $200 a week for my own vehicle. The board signed off on that. Sure. I wish I would have never done it because I lost my Suburban. I trashed it. I put so many miles on it, pulling a trailer. We had my printer. We had the quilt pieces that were on display that we took with us. We had the computer. We had tables. We had everything. The T-shirts. It was a mobile office. Just like when a rock band travels on tour, they have those big buses. We didn't have a big bus. We had a Suburban, a 1994 Suburban, and a trailer, 6x12 trailer. You'll see some photos. It was incredible. It was an experience. Seeing 300-pound grown men cry, weep over the quilt pieces that they create. Getting up at 4 in the morning for an 0500, 0600 roll call, going back at an 0900, 1000 roll call, going back at 1400, 1500 roll call, $2,100, $2,200 hour roll call, and then getting back up at 0500 for another roll call, because you're at their disposal. Okay, so you have to meet when they want to meet. Monday through Saturday. I didn't work Sundays because I'm Catholic, so I didn't work Sundays. I went to Mass and I relaxed on Sundays. Then all the units, like SWAT, narcotics, homicide, you got all those different units. You got to fit them in between those set roll calls I just spoke of. So, Mr. Reporter, it wasn't easy. I've got letters, I got reference letters from the chiefs on letterhead from almost every department. Kevin, how incredible your sacrifice, your personal sacrifice to visit all our roll calls was incredible. How did you do it? I got reference letters from police chiefs, fire departments, from sheriff's offices. It was hard, especially when you go to a big department that have 3,000-4,000 officers, and you try to make it around the entire city when they've got, some cities have 9-10 substations, precincts. Folks, it's hard. And then when you got a police department or a substation or a precinct where one of the officers is an artist, and guess what? The lieutenant, the LT, or the sergeant pulls him off the street to do the artwork. Guess what I'm doing? I'm sitting there in the squad room while he's doing the artwork. I'm not being paid. Sometimes it takes several hours. It wasn't easy, folks. I don't know if the reporter made it sound that way, or made it sound like we were just sitting around twiddling our thumbs and just raising money. I mean, do you understand? I mean, $700,000 over an 8-year national tour, folks, is not a lot of money. We busted our butts every single day. Oh my goodness, we worked so hard. Our participants worked so hard. It was such an honorable effort. Like I said, I got letters of reference. You'd be amazed at how incredible the letters are, how beautiful they speak of us, of me personally, my commitment, my sacrifice, my dedication to the cause and the project. Because these chiefs saw it. These officers, these LTs, these sergeants, they saw me. Oh, you're still here? I'd see somebody at 2,100 hours and then back at 500 hours when they're getting off. You're still here. You came back. No, I went home. I slept a few hours. I'm back again. God, how do you do it? And folks, you got to understand, my presentation to the officers or the firefighters or the sheriff deputies was always the same. So I'm repeating myself over and over again, day in and day out, week after week, year after year, for several years for the national tour. And in total, over 8 years, we raised about $700,000. 700, I don't know what the exact number was. They wanted me to read from cue cards. They prepared cards. I didn't want to. I just wanted to wing it. I wanted to speak from my heart. But folks, the national tour was not easy. Don't for a second think it was. Do you know what it's like? Oh, by the way, the reason why I took my dogs, just so you know, I didn't have anyone to leave my dogs with. They had to come with me. Everybody looking at me right now. Okay, you're watching this right now. You got a 200-pound dog, 200-pound dog, a monster. A 120-pound dog, another monster. Myself, in a one-room motel room, living in there 24/7. Yeah, I got to take the dogs out 4 or 5 times a day. We were running about 2 miles a day, so they got lots of exercise. They got to see the country. But you think it was a picnic? What did the reporter think? Did he, when he put that in there, did he think that there was a picnic, a vacation? How many of you have animals, pets, dogs? How many of you take your pets on vacation, your dogs on vacation for several years? Living in a motel room. Are you kidding me? Luckily, mine were very well behaved. And I was able to find places that would accept them. Not in the greatest neighborhoods, as I mentioned. Oh, I'll never forget a few cities where that happened. It was incredible. It wasn't a picnic, folks. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there's something else. 200-pound dog, 120-pound dog, myself. Guess what else? Oh my gosh, we have a shipment of 500 t-shirts. So now I've got 4 or 5 boxes of commemorative t-shirts that, guess what? Oh, I got to set up the tables from the trailer, and I got to set them up in the room. And I got to pull out these shirts. I got to put name tags on each shirt. I got to inventory them. I got to pull the orders. Bag the orders for each individual squad, for each individual precinct, for each individual police department or fire station, and then I got to drive them to the stations. Oh, by the way, I still have to do my presentations every day. When do you sleep? Exactly. Are the dogs going nuts because they have no room to walk? Or yeah, that's why I take them out all the time. So I take him running 2 miles a day. It was no picnic, Mr. Reporter. I don't know what he thought, if he thought that was a picnic or it just wasn't. I was forced to take my dogs. This meant so much to me. The American Quilt Memorial and the national tour, I wanted to take the dogs because I was forced to take them. So I made the best out of a situation so that everything would be equitable, so the project would take top priority. And that was my focus. It was not, it was, some of the officers saw where I lived, saw where I stayed with the dogs. It was funny. Most of the departments knew that it was me. Oh, by the way, for FYI, he brought up my brothers. Yeah, my brothers. One of my brothers, he worked a police department all by himself, an entire department, a very large department in the United States. He worked all by himself. Wonderful letter of reference from the chief himself to my brother. When he came, because I was in the city first, because it was overlapping, we stayed in the same motel room with the 5 boxes of t-shirts, with the 200-pound dog, with the 120-pound dog, with me, and now my brother. Folks, it was not paradise. It was not a vacation like the reporter may have made it sound. Did we sit around twiddling our thumbs, collecting all this money? No. God is my witness. May the mighty Lord above know. Only through the Holy Spirit did I have the strength to be able to pursue what needed to be done, folks. It was a wonderful experience. Love every minute of it. As you notice, as I've been talking, I don't know, I think I've been smiling most of the time because it has been a wonderful experience. But I don't think the reporter really understood what a national tour entailed. I really don't. I think that he compiled his numbers without really doing due diligence, because it wasn't done. I mean, the way he did it, it wasn't accurate. It was inaccurate. It was not accurate. And you'll see here with the website. But I digress. Thank you for coming to the website, kevinheld.net, and taking a look at it and listening to this video. I hope that you will spend some time and look at some other videos that I'll be making throughout the course of the website, interjecting certain narratives about certain things and issues. Just give us a chance. Give me a chance to get to know me now. You read the article. You formed an opinion based on the article. Now, look at some evidence and documentation I'm going to provide that just doesn't hold up. It doesn't compare to what was in the article. And my job here is not to judge. My job is to try to set the record straight with honesty and integrity. I mean, not try to do that with honesty and integrity, to do that with honesty and integrity, but my job is to try to set the record straight with you if you give me the opportunity to view the website. So I hope you'll do that, and I hope you will reserve judgment until you've had an opportunity to read my point-by-point responses to the article. Thank you very much. And you know what? Not to me. I take all that back. No, do it to the tens of thousands. As far as I can guess, probably close to 100,000 volunteers and participants. Do it for them, and do it for the victims of September 11th, the souls that died. Because that's why I started all this, folks. When I started this, I've never said this publicly. Very few people know this. Now everybody will. I started the American Quilt Memorial because after September 11th happened, everywhere I went, personally, I went to Home Depot, I went to Radio Shack, and I went to Fry's. And this was like immediately, like within a few days after. And I saw they had like fish bowls out collecting money. And then there was all this money talk on the news. People were raising money for everything. They were raising money for the victims' families. And it became a national obsession about raising money for the victims' families, for the victims' kids. Go back and do your research. Go back to the days after and remember and research it and look at what happened. It was all about money. Remember all the bands, the artists? They did the bands. They had the concert, and all the money went to the victims' families. As I said, I'm Catholic, and I was very taken back by the fact that it just seemed to me that people forgot about the souls of the victims that died. And why I started the American Quilt Memorial, at first I had it called, I don't remember what I was going to name it originally. But the reason why I started it was I thought that having people sign quilt pieces, dedication quilt pieces, honoring someone that they didn't even know, especially somebody that died in a tragedy like September 11th, and having hundreds and thousands of people signing that one quilt piece, and then joining them together with other quilt pieces, making this huge 25 football field memorial, and unwrapping this for display for the entire world to see and our nation in a national presentation. I thought that was beautiful. Not for the publicity. Of course not. Because when you unwrap it and you unfold it and you display it, all those thousands and tens of thousands, millions of people that participated and signed it, put a thought or a prayer on it, all those tears that were shed, all those 200, 300-pound men that I saw weep, all the times that I cried and wept, all of that, folks, I thought would be pretty cool going up to heaven for the souls. The souls that died on September 11th. That's why I started the American Quilt Memorial back in 2001. And the first quilt piece that was done in November. It was started in October. Not even a month after September 11th, folks. So we started it right away. I wanted to do it anonymously. Because I didn't want the accolades. That's not why I did this. I didn't want the pat on the back. That's not why I was doing it. When you pass around the collection, okay, if you're going to make a donation, what's the best way to make a donation, a true donation? Do you take a $10,000 check and say, here, this is me, and my name's on the check, this is me, Kevin Held, I want to make a donation. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin, what a great job, pat on the back. Or, do you go there at night, slide it underneath the door, and leave anonymously with a money order and don't sign it? What's a true act of charity there? I guess everybody has their own personal beliefs, but this is me, and this is why I started it. I did it for the victim souls. So all of those people out there that say the quilt that isn't, or the headline, the reporter, it is, because it's being done now. We're finishing it. I'm finishing it. Not because it's right, not because it's wrong. I'm finishing it because I made a promise to God, and I made a promise to the victim souls. I made a promise to those victims. And it's going to be done. It's a great opportunity at this point to finish it because we're not on the national tour anymore. We realized, folks, it's important to understand something also. If I could just take a few more moments of your time. I told the reporter back in 2008, I think it was 2007 or 2008, I realized the national tour was getting us nowhere. Meaning that we weren't able to solidify enough quilt pieces fast enough to what we wanted to do to set the schedule, the pace of the schedule that we wanted to try to finish the American Quilt Memorial. It was a much slower pace than anyone thought. I didn't know that we were going to spend 4 or 5 months. Folks, I would spend 4 or 5 months in one city, one department, and we would only get 5 or 6 quilt pieces out of that. I did not know that when we started this. Nobody did. So what I was trying to do was trying to figure out a way that we could get more quilt pieces on a more time conducive manner so that we could get more than 4 or 5 quilt pieces in 4 or 5 months. Did the reporter put that in the article? No, of course not. I don't know why. But to go back, I did it for the victims' souls. I thought God would be happy and pleased with the fact that all these wonderful people, all these beautiful volunteers and participants on a national level, paying tribute to and honoring complete strangers that have now become family through this horrible tragedy, I thought he would be touched. And I thought it was a good thing to do. I thought it was a great thing to do. And it is. And all of you proved it. The reporter proved it. He wouldn't have written the article if it wasn't. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for listening. Please, reserve judgment and take a look at the website. Thank you.